בירושלים תנוחמו, בירושלים תנוחמו, ובירושלים תנוחמו, בירושלים אוי תנוחמו.
The Bacham are really very Mashgiach, and they come back with aliyahs from learning in Eretz Yisrael, from learning in Yagdil, and that's why we're really happy to send Bacham there, and the Bacham Taka steigen.
The camaraderie is still there till today. Till today, whenever we meet other Yagdil boys, we start reminiscing about all the good days.
Ram used to invite Bachar not only for Sudas, which were delicious, but after the Sudas, the way we used to Fabrang, and Rosh Yeshiva used to, every time we came together, he would talk about a different Adam Gadol from the previous generation.
We really feel the Bacham are very Mashgiach there, mainly because it's a yeshiva that provides everything. The Gashmias, the Ruchnias, the dormitory, diras, food, everything that the Bacham needs.
It's Masuder, creating that proper atmosphere of Siddur on the one hand and Normalkeit, Varmkeit on the other hand.
Today, when I talk to my Talmidim, a lot of the things that I give over are things that I heard from Ram in my early days in Eretz Yisrael.
As recent as 2 days ago, I had to speak by a Sheva Brachas, and I opened up my old notebook to find a vart that the Rosh Yeshiva said probably 16 or 17 years ago when I was in Kailo. And even then, it wasn't just the Bacham that went to the Chumash, it was the Kailo that used to come. And now, Baruch Hashem, over the past year or so, the Rosh Yeshiva started giving again his Chumash year. Listening to it brings back so many more memories of what used to go on in the back of the Beis Medrash, sitting around the table listening to the Rosh Yeshiva.
You know, I thanked the Rosh Yeshiva Bavram, who I always speak to him, and he always tells me exactly how every Bach is learning, and make sure every Bach has what he needs for his Gashmias and what he needs for his Ruchnias. And this way the Bacham are really very Mashgiach.
I hear this from many Bacham and many younger light now about the Rosh Yeshiva, that even if they lost the kasher with him, if they give him a call, it's like a new beginning. It's like reconnecting to their roots. Rosh Yeshiva is always available for them.
It's always constant, once a Talmud, always a Talmud.
One of the unique aspects of the yeshiva is that being a mashgiach is not a steer to being mushba. In being a mashgiach, I'm zeiche to spend a lot of time under the guidance of the Rosh Yeshiva, and therefore I can continue to be mushba as I have the opportunity to be mashgiach.
and the covered for Yagdil Torah. To be able to be mechabed as a guest of honor by the Ani Yudina, somebody who is from the purpose of Yagdil Torah itself. Yagdil Torah v'yadi, grew up. Das ist die Gedulim for Yagdil Torah. The Gedulim, purpose.
The feeling of Warmkeit in the yeshiva starts within the Anhala itself, under the leadership of the Rosh Yeshiva. We all feel that we have a close personal relationship with the Rosh Yeshiva, and it creates a family within the Anhala itself that filters down to the Yingolite and to the rest of the yeshiva.
Shmuel's ne'emanos to the yeshiva and to the Talmidei HaYeshiva are truly something that is a sight to behold. There is nothing in the world that Shmuel sees as too small or beneath his dignity to do if it will in any way help a bacher or help the yeshiva by klali.
In every tkufa, we find that the bachrim are so zufrieden, they're so happy, they're so be'achtus. And I think one of the reasons is because the yeshiva has no boundaries when it comes to giving a bacher everything he needs. That he has nothing to do in yeshiva, no tirdis, nothing that he has to be busy with other than to steig.
The Bochum feel very close to him. He's always available for them to talk to him. They open up to him. He worries about them. His eitzes from Shimush Talmidei Chachomim are well-founded. They have something to build on.
The yeshiva was a great measure of Hakaras HaTov to Rosh Shmuel's dedication and to the hours, and the endless hours actually, that he puts in towards the betterment of the Bachrim and towards the yeshiva b'chlal.
Tzimeach, Chai, which is Behemah, and Medaber, which is Allah. The Chayra, each one of these levels, if you take away the Maila of
Oleinu לשבח לאדון הכהן לא סייס כתוב לו להיות יצא בראשית עולנו לשבח.
My closest connection to Yagdil was 5 or 6 years ago. My daughter in Eretz Yisrael had a baby, and my wife and I came for the Simcha, and I show up the first morning I'm there at Yagdil for Shacharis, and go up to Trevor Fromm and say, I'm here for the Simcha, Barsham had a Einikel. And he said, listen, you're here for 2 weeks, what are you going to do the whole time? Come, we'll learn every day for 2 hours. And he did. Every day I came to the Yagdil Beis Medrash for a Seder, we learned for 2 hours, begin, and it felt really good to feel like a little bit part of the yeshiva and be sitting there during first Seder.
Ari is a tremendous Bal Chesed, always looking to help people, if it's Yechidim, many families, people with various problems, he's always there, willing to help. If it's Meistis, various Meistis HaTorah, Ari is there, and he makes a great impact.
He has a chavrusa with one of very choshev in Galait, in Beis Medrash Gavoya, and he tells me what a difference it makes to his whole day, this chavrusa be'iyun that he learns with at night.
Rabbi Yisrael Salanter used to say he has different Talmidim at different levels of Anivas, but he used to say about Rav Itzela Mipetcheberg that Rav Itzela is a person who has no idea that he's an Anav. And I think that at a certain level Ari has that Maila, that Ari's true humbleness is such that he sees himself in no way as an Anav, but he gets things done in the most private and quiet way, but efficiently and with total dedication to whatever he's involved with.
What's outstanding is also that he's very low-key. He doesn't want anybody to know about his pu'ulas, his stockis.
Whenever we go to Eretz Yisrael, it's usually a stop to visit Rabbi Avram either at the yeshiva, and we have a shmooze in his office, or I go to his house and we get a chance to shmooze and talk. And it's always one of my enjoyable parts of the trip is talking to Rabbi Avram and hearing how he looks at things and how his Sharas Hadas and his Das Torah is something which is very, I enjoy hearing all the time. He's a close Talmud of my Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Yitzchak. And he's very close to him. He has a lot of his hashkafas and the way you learn from him how to look at things and to his hashkafas achayim, and it's always nice to hear how he looks at current events.
that he should have Bracha v'Hatzlacha v'chol ma'aseh yodov, and he should be gesund and stark and be matzliach in alle inyanim.
Acheinu, oy oy oy, Acheinu, Acheinu, kol beis Yisroel, Hanesunim batzara uvashivyon, Acheinu, kol beis Yisroel.
What's the inspiration that I have, and my brother, quite frankly, had in motivating him and having us be involved in Avodas HaKodesh. The picture I would show you and I have is my father, Zayin Gezun, standing in front of a classroom teaching boys Torah. This is the dogma that we had when we were growing up. This is what our family was like. My in-laws are people that were always Mashgiach Torah. There were times where they were able to more, and there were times where they were able to less, but there's no question that on their mind, being Machzik Torah was something that was incredibly important.
Reb Shlomo has been working in the Masifta of Long Beach for many years with tremendous devotion, dedication, care and concern. He is Moser V'Leivu B'Nefesh to see to it that every Talmud has what he needs.
I can think of no one who was truly involved with Yagdil Torah since its inception, and even before its inception, as my dear brother Shlomo.
Baruch Hashem, he is zeichet to have children that are emes b'nei Torah. Some of them have learned in the yeshiva of the Masifta of Long Beach as well, and in Yagdil Torah.
The time that they spent in yeshiva, my boys were fortunate because they had an aunt and uncle there, and I have to tell you that the Mesiras Nefesh of my sister-in-law, Reb Avram's wife, Marla, the Rebbitzin, is also unparalleled. I would say that Shlomo has taken the Midas Taivas that already he has from his grandparents and certainly from parents, and he's brought out the best in everybody by his just beautiful demeanor, his good nature, and his ability and willingness to help everybody with a smile and an achrayus.
He's the calming force in the office, always with a smile, always with a nice word.
Chazal tell us, Elokim asas adam yashar, that really in truth everybody is created straight. Yet we find that there's not so many straight and yashristic thinking people out there. And the answer is, the second part of the pasuk is that even though the Rebbeinu Shalom created a person yashar, but heim bikshu cheshbeinas rabim, they go ahead and they complicate things and they twist their minds, so to speak, so that they end up not being straight and glatta people. Shlomo somehow, Baruch Hashem, managed to avoid the cheshbeinas harabim and retain a glattkeit in his actions and in his attitudes and in his hashkafas that enable him to become a person who many people confide in and really are interested in hearing his daya because it's a glatta daya. There's nothing that you need to do over there. You don't have to go, you don't have to be metapel with the deer if you don't want to. You don't have to be metapel with food if you don't want to. You don't have to be metapel with Shabbos if you don't want to. All you need to do is sit and learn. What situation could be better than that?
Say na hich min dima